Hi, Captain Carry-On here. If you've ever packed medications for a trip and found yourself sweating at the thought of customs checks or TSA security lines, you're not alone. Navigating medicine rules when you travel isn't just about being organized. It can quite literally be the difference between comfort and chaos. In some countries, what seems like an innocent bottle of cold pills or a few tablets of prescribed medication could land you in a lengthy customs checkpoint, or worse, a back room with security agents asking questions you're not ready to answer. But here's the truth no one tells you. Most of these situations can be completely avoided with just a little knowledge and careful planning. Today, we're going to take the stress out of it. Whether you're traveling across states or continents, this video will give you the confidence to pack, declare, and carry your meds like a pro. Let's start here. There are two categories of medicine-related problems when traveling: security surprises and legal surprises. Most people fear getting flagged at airport security and having their carefully packed suitcase pulled open because of that one bottle of cough syrup. But that's a relatively easy fix if you understand TSA rules and their exceptions. The harder issues come when you land somewhere and suddenly realize that your prescription drug is considered a controlled substance, or worse, banned outright in that country. The stakes aren't just inconvenience. They can involve confiscation, deportation, or even in rare cases, criminal charges. That's why this isn't just a travel packing checklist, it's a survival guide. You can find my recommended travel gear in the description below. If you're finding these travel tips useful, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next airport hacks video. It'll save you a lot of time. First things first, always pack your most important medications in your personal item, not your carry-on suitcase. Why? Because overhead bins fill up fast, and gate agents often start checking carry-on bags last minute when the flight is full. If your meds are in that suitcase and it gets tossed into cargo, you've just lost access to them for maybe 10x hours. Worse, if your bag is delayed or lost, which we all know happens far too often. Your entire travel experience could go sideways. Think about medication not as part of your luggage, but as part of your on-body essentials, right there next to your passport and phone. Now, let's clarify something about TSA regulations. Yes, liquids are restricted. Yes, pills can sometimes get extra scrutiny. But here's what a lot of people still don't realize: TSA makes exceptions for medically necessary items, even if they exceed the normal limits. That means your 120-ml bottle of prescription eye drops. It's allowed. Your protein powder in a 14 oz jar. It won't be tossed just because it's over 12 oz. It will just undergo an extra screening. The key is having those items separated, clearly labeled, and declared early. And that's the real magic phrase: declare early. TSA agents, in general, aren't out to make your life miserable. They're scanning for security threats, not trying to catch someone traveling with antacids. But the second a bottle of unknown fluid sets off an alarm during X-ray, or they see a white powder in an unlabeled Ziploc, that's when things escalate. Most of the time, delays happen not because you're carrying something illegal, but because you didn't present it clearly. Contrast this with the prepared traveler who walks up, pulls out a clear litter bag that contains all medical items, looks the TSA officer in the eye and says, "These are medically required liquids and devices. Do you need me to open any for inspection?" You'd be surprised how often that one sentence smooths out the entire process. Organization signals confidence and legitimacy. Let's talk briefly about original packaging. For prescription medications, it's best to leave them in their labeled bottles or blister packs, especially if you're going through international customs. Yes, it takes up a little more space than that slick pill organizer you bought online. But imagine explaining a random assortment of unlabeled white tablets to an airport authority in a country where you don't speak the language fluently. The original label is your best defense. It shows your name, the doctor's contact, and dosage instructions. And more importantly, it removes doubt. Now what about over-the-counter meds? These are often a gray zone because they don't come with a doctor's note, but they can still be flagged depending on quantity or form. Take melatonin, for example. It's legal in most Western countries, yet regulated or even banned in some parts of Asia, even common US. Brands like NEC will contain ingredients that are controlled substances elsewhere. You might not give a second thought to a nasal spray or a decongestant, but in countries like Japan or the UAE, the active ingredients could literally be on a banned import list. Here's where contrast framing matters. Imagine two travelers both arrive at Singapore airport. One has a cold, took some meds mid-flight, and has an unmarked container in his bag. He gets questioned, his medication is confiscated, and he misses his next flight. The other has the same medication, still sealed in its labeled box, with a doctor's letter explaining the dosage. He walks through without an issue. Same meds, different outcomes, based entirely on preparation. So how do you avoid these pitfalls? The simplest rule: do your research. Before you travel internationally, even if it's just a layover, check the official customs and health website of your destination and any transit countries. You might be shocked. For example, Thailand requires permissions for certain ADHD medications. Japan has completely banned pseudoephedrine. And Singapore, forget about carrying anything that could be considered a sedative without prior written approval. Even domestically within the US, medical marijuana laws are a tricky gray area. States may have legalized it individually, but under federal law and at federally regulated airports, cannabis is still restricted. TSA agents are not necessarily looking for it, but if they find it during a screening, they're obliged to alert local authorities. In some cases, that just means a conversation. In others, it could delay your trip or worse. Bottom line, leave it behind or ship legally within regulations. You might be wondering, should I bring a doctor's letter? The answer is yes, especially if you're carrying controlled substances, injectable items, or medical devices. A simple letter that explains the need for the medication, includes dosage and prescribing physician contact, can spare you from unnecessary hassle. Better yet, carry a digital backup in your cloud storage and a printed copy in your travel wallet. As we move into the second half of this deeper dive, we're going to talk about packing techniques, key differences between carry-on and checked medications, how to plan ahead in case of extended travel delays or lost luggage, and how to manage medication refills abroad. But before we do that, if this kind of vital travel advice is helping you feel more prepared and less anxious, consider subscribing to the channel. It's a simple way you can support high-quality, no-fluff travel content so you're never blindsided by rules that could have been easily handled with the right info. All right, let's keep going. Now let's shift from regulations to something just as important: your packing strategy. Knowing the rules is only half the battle. If your medications are inaccessible at the wrong time, poorly packed, or misunderstood by airport security, it can derail your entire trip, even if everything you were carrying was technically allowed. One of the most common, yet costly mistakes travelers make is scattering medications across too many locations. A few pills in your backpack, a nasal spray buried in your DOP kit, and that one essential bottle tucked between shoes in a checked bag. It's disorganized and risky. Instead, keep all critical medications and medical items in a single, transparent, resealable bag. This not only makes security screening smoother, but also ensures everything is easy to locate and declare. Medically necessary liquids, including prescription eye drops, insulin, or oral solutions, are typically exempt from the 3.40's 100 ml TS limit, but only if you declare them. That's the magic word, declare. You don't have to hide them or sneak them through hoping no one notices. Transparency nearly always leads to fewer problems. Put those items outside your normal liquids bag, and don't be afraid to speak up when it's your turn at the security checkpoint. If any of your medications require refrigeration, TSA allows ice packs or gel packs, even in a semi-frozen state. Just make sure they're being used specifically for medication. If questioned, present the pack together with the relevant prescription. Better yet, use a compact insulated medication pouch made for travel. It's discreet, effective, and often includes storage for documentation, so which medications belong in carry-on versus checked luggage. Break them essential to your health or difficult to replace should go in your personal item, not just your carry-on suitcase. Carry-on bags are sometimes gate-checked during full flights, leaving you without access until arrival. That's why your personal item is the safest place for things like inhalers, EpiPens, insulin, antidepressants, heart meds, or any daily meds you depend on. For longer trips where refills may be necessary, call your doctor before traveling and request a longer prescription supply. Many physicians are willing to authorize a 60 or 90-day supply if they know you'll be abroad. Some insurance plans allow a one-time vacation override to fill what's normally restricted to 30 days. Planning this in advance gives you peace of mind once you're abroad and reduces the risk of running out. Now, here's a big mistake many overlook, assuming international pharmacies will carry what you're used to. Medications often go by different names in different countries. The active ingredient might be available, but your brand isn't. In some cases, the drug may require a prescription where you're going, even if it's available over the counter at home. That's where a medication summary sheet becomes your best friend. Create a printed list and a digital backup that includes your full name, medications, dosages, prescribing physician info, and purposes. But don't stop at brand names. List the generic name of each drug. Pharmacists across borders recognize the ingredients, not your familiar U.S. label. If you're visiting non-English speaking countries, consider translating this list into the local language. Even a basic printable translation via a reliable tool can save serious confusion when you're trying to buy replacements or explain your meds during customs checks. Speaking of customs, don't underestimate how different laws are from one country to the next. Japan, for example, bans pseudoephedrine, common in Western decongestants. Singapore treats sedatives and prescription sleep aids as controlled substances. Thailand requires prior approval for some mental health medications. You need to check not only your destination country, but also any layover or transit nations. A legally carried item could cause issues during a short stop simply because of local import laws. To avoid delays, never decant medications like creams or liquids into unlabeled travel bottles, even if you're just trying to save space. Keep all original prescription labels intact and use a pharmacy-labeled bottle when possible. Unmarked containers can trigger suspicion, slow screenings, or result in confiscation. It's a small inconvenience that buys you a ton of credibility. Also, prepare for the unexpected. Flights get delayed. Layovers get extended. Bags get lost. Bring extra doses, at least 2 or 3 days worth, to survive bumps in your schedule. It's also smart to keep one emergency dose directly on your body in a small pouch, in case you're separated from all your bags. A quick final tip: if medical items make security stressful, TSA Cares is a resource worth knowing. Call them 72 hours before your flight, and they can assist travelers with medical conditions through the screening process. You can also tweet or message TSA directly with specific questions about medications. These channels are responsive, helpful, and under-used, an advantage for savvy travelers like you. Being medically prepared isn't just about compliance, it's about control. When done right, you travel smarter, with more comfort, and less chance of drama at checkpoints. Plan ahead, pack wisely, and always stay one step ahead of the unexpected. Found this helpful? Hit subscribe for more practical travel tips every week, and drop a comment if you have questions about traveling with medications. Safe travels!